Hey friend, welcome to the Coach B Experience podcast. We have another action-packed, value-stacked, real and raw episode for you. Remember, it does not benefit you to just listen. I want you to remember three things. Take fast action, get a result, and grow from your experiences. You have power in your choice. Let's dive into today's experiences. Hey everyone, what's up? This is Coach B. I'm so excited about today's episode because single men, this is where you are really gonna dive in deep about how to have an extraordinary year in 2019. So I have 10 things I really want to share with you and even some bonus items. But before I do that, I just want to make sure you guys are subscribed so you guys are getting this every week. So you guys are implementing this stuff every week and you're hearing my voice. And you also are in our Facebook group. Again, it's One Choice, One Habit. So let's dive in. I'm excited because you know what? I think a lot of people put so much pressure on January, right? There's like so much pressure in January to set the tone for the rest of the year, right? But I firmly believe that that's not really how it works, right? I think people put pressure on January because they think, oh, if January is bad, then every other year is going to be bad. But the thing is that at any moment, right, whether it's January 1st, 2019, or whether it's December 1st, 2019, you only have 30 days or 31 days left to close out the year. When you make that choice to change, when you make that choice to become a 1% man, to switch from being a 99% man like every other man following society's terms, when you really make that change, that is when that's when your life changes. So I firmly believe your life can change at any moment just from a choice. So with that being said, let's dive into the first thing. I think, look, men, you need to make a choice. Right? So if you want to have an extraordinary year in 2019 as a man, must do, and this is not even part of my top 10, but you just have to make that choice and just say, hey, I want to have an extraordinary year in 2019, right? But my first topic is truth and ownership. Okay, first and foremost, and this goes to making that choice, right? Number one, be truthful about where you currently are in your life, because at the end of the day, if you're not truthful with yourself, you can't be truthful with anybody else, right? And if you're not taking ownership, if you're playing the blame game, like, oh, it's their fault, that person or whatever, you will never, ever get far in life. So one of our head sales training for our whole company was actually in today. And I talked to her about, when she first started the sales job, like where she was and what she did and what helped her to get better. She said that when she started taking ownership of her career, when she started taking ownership of this is my sales job, this is my career, and no one is affecting me but me. And by me blaming other people, it almost got her fired. But when she started taking ownership, that's when she really got good at her job and she really buckled down and doubled down on what she was doing. And really now she's in less than 8 years, she's the head of all training for our company, which is amazing. Second thing, single men, it's emotional intelligence. All right. Second thing is communicate effectively. So we need to be able to talk, right? As men, we are taught that we just are just rock hard, that we should just communicate in such a way to always show our strengths. But communicating effectively is being able to understand the other person and making sure that they are listening to us, not just hearing us. The fact is being heard is someone listening to you, but not actually understanding what you're saying. But when someone's listening to you, they're listening with the intent not to speak back to you. So you want people that are actually listening to you, right? And how do you communicate effectively? You communicate effectively by also listening to other people and not wanting to speak or not wanting to get your point across, but hearing them and also sharing with them, even might be a vulnerable moment, but really being open to listening to what they have to say, right? Because communication is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street of you getting your word out. That's a dictatorship, right? Remember, communication is a two-way street. And then use your emotions. Men, it's okay. And that brings us to my third point of emotional intelligence, right? So being emotional intelligent is understanding how is my emotions affecting me and how do my emotions affect other people. As men, we're taught that we just need to be this hard ass dude, never crying, doesn't have any emotions, like nothing can deter us. But we need to be able to be vulnerable. We need to be able to share our emotions and speak about it and talk from a point of just saying, hey, look, I have these emotions. You're not a non-emotional being. You are emotional. You have emotions, and that is okay as a man. And you have to be cool with sharing it, and you have to be open to sharing it, right? You don't have to be open to share with everybody, but with somebody that you love, you need to be open to sharing those emotions because people want to see your emotions. People want to see that something is grabbing your attention, right? And fourth thing is you need to be legacy and generational focus, right? Legacy is the family members and the people in your family and tribe that you can see in front of you and behind you. So those like your mom and dad, those are people that are behind you, and then your kids and your wife coming before you, right? And then even your cousins and all that. Generation is people that you will never see. So the day that you die and say like a little niece is born the next week, that's your generation. So you want to prepare them and prepare your legacy and your generation for your departure as a man, right? At all times, because why? You want to leave your family better than when you came into it, right? You want to make sure that they're set up for success in the future, right? So long-term focus, right? And even focusing long-term is that generational, and then legacy is that short-term focus, right? Number 5, build yourself into a weapon of abundance. So I love this because this brings me into the value of being selfish, right? Because a lot of people hear selfish and they're like, that's a bad thing. But I believe being selfish is the most amazing thing. Taking care of you first, right? And building your body into a weapon of abundance. And I hate to just say body, but more of your whole self. Because remember, holistic life, right? Holistic living, because mind, body, soul, and money, all your life pillars affect everything about you, right? So that means everywhere you go, you should be leaving in more of an abundant state than you left them. Right. So after you talk to somebody, they should be uplifted. They should be more abundant in love. They should be more abundant in giving. Right. The next time that you're at the gym, right, you should be transforming yourself so that way your body becomes an abundant source of revenue for you. Right. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be using to go create or to go do whatever you're doing, whether that's your job or your business. And then even your soul, right? When you're praying for somebody or maybe you're connecting spiritually, you want to be in an abundant state at all times, right? Especially with money. You want that every time you touch money, it turns into 3 times or 4 times or 5 times as much of whatever you're doing, right? And that's that really building yourself into a weapon of abundance, right? That means that whatever you attack, it leaves out just flowing and pouring out with a lot more than what you started with, right? Number 6, get a coach or a mentor. As men, we almost feel as we just have to grit our teeth and go through life and just say, I can do it all alone, all by myself, shield and sword and a whole army in front of us. But the thing is that everyone that you meet, right? And a lot of people consider Jesus the greatest man to ever live, right? And Jesus, think about him. He had mentors and coaches, right? When he was small, when he was little, what did he do? He went to the temple and he had counsel and he learned from the elders in the temple. Right, and think about all the great men that we hear about nowadays, right? The Bill Gates, even your mom and dad, right? They counsel who? Your grandfather, your grandpa, but someone is always being counseled. Great men seek counsel of greater men than their own, right? And when you seek a coach or a mentor, it doesn't have to be somebody that make a whole bunch of money, but somebody that understands or that might be at a position of where you want to be in life, all right? Or maybe that has lived life and that is living life on a great track and you want to mimic that or whatever, or they may have some certain information that you want to get from them, right? Become their student and learn from them, right? Be open to learn from them. Number 7, know what you believe and stand by it. Okay, so this this one is great because nowadays there's so much going on in our society, right? There's the Me Too movement, there's the feminist movement. There's so many things going on, right? Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. And a lot of people are scared to share their beliefs and their stance on what they believe, right? I tell people like this: if you're racist, I would rather you be concrete, feet down, and say, hey, look, I'm racist, and not play the laugh in your face, but talk behind your back, right? And a lot of you may be laughing or maybe saying, wow, why would you say that? But it's that you want people that are upfront and that are honest, right? And that's good or bad, right? We can't just take the good and throw out the bad, because at the end of the day, this world is full of good and bad, right? So I want you to know what you believe and what you stand for and be concrete in that, and then give reasons why you believe that. Because at the end of the day, if you believe something and there's no real backing or reason behind it, then why are you believing it? If you can't explain what you believe, then what are you actually believing in, right? If there's no substance, if there's no evidence, come on now, what is it? What do you actually believe in? There has to be substance behind what you believe and what you stand for. And you have to be able to articulate and communicate effectively why you believe that, right? So number 8, have a vision for the year. So that's like plans, your goals, your action steps, your inner circle. So a plan, right? Casting a vision. What do you want this whole year to look like, 2019, right? If you want to have an extraordinary 2019, then you need to write it down and say, hey, you know what? In 2019, your name, accomplished this, and this. I did this at my job. I had 3 promotions. By January, I was promoted and my income went up 10%. You need to have a plan, right? And after that, you want to write down goals. Why? Because goals are milestones along the way in your plan for 2019, right? They're going to say, okay, hey, you're on the right track, or hey, you're not on the right track, or you're not doing this right. So you always want to be having goals. You always want to have goals. Do you see that? Completely wrong. That was completely wrong English, right? Completely wrong English. Was that even right? But but the fact is those goals are really gonna help you keep in line and help you to see that, hey, I am on the right track. I am hitting my goals. I am on the right path for myself that I've set for myself. And then that 3, that action step, right? What is it that you need to do to reach those goals? Who is it that you need to talk to? What is it that you need to do every day? Right? You have to have a plan, so you know. Every day at my job, my manager comes by and she's like, Bertrand, what is your goal for the day? Right? Because why? Because that helps me to understand, hey, did I have a good or bad day? Did I reach my goals? Right? And every day, the company is always evaluating me on, hey, how I'm doing, how the team is doing. Hey, today this is your goal. Right? Every day we have a team goal of what we need to accomplish, but also we have individual goals as well, right? And this is why I believe, and this is sidetrack, this is why I believe everyone should get a sales job. Because every day when you're at a sales job or performance-based job, you have those goals, you have those milestones that you have to accomplish to reach your end goal, right? And they break down everything by weekly, by daily, because then you start to see, okay, cool, I'm making improvements, because you can track it, right? And if you're not hitting your goals, then you can go back and say, okay, why did I hit my goal? What was I doing to not hit my goal? Where is it that I need to improve? Or what is it that I'm slacking on? What do I need to get some more training on? Where do I need some more oomph on, right? And then last but not least, inner circle. So your inner circle, if you haven't heard me say this before, but I'm going to break it down. So your inner circle is about 3 to 5 people. Men and women, right? That can be in this inner circle. You can have men and women in this inner circle. And the thing is, in that inner circle, you want to be around people that are a little bit ahead of you, right? People that are action takers. People that understand, hey, you know what, you want to get to a certain place in life, right? People that have high standards, high values, high integrity. People that walk the walk and talk the talk, right? And you do not want to have just dreamers in your inner circle. People that just say, you know what, I would like to do this, I would like to do that, and you talk to them, and then 3 months later they're still saying, I'd like to do that, I'd like to do this. You want people that have that say, I'm gonna do this, and then they go out and they do it, whether they accomplish it or not, but they take action towards it, right? Those are the type of people you want to be around, because the people that fail fast are people that are learning all the time, right? And this takes me to my point of also, like, this year and every year, right? You always hear about people saying, I want to read 52 books, or I want to do this, I want to do that, right? And I'm just like, okay, that's great, go do it. But the point is that people read all these books and are harboring all this knowledge, but they never take action on it, right? I would rather have a friend that hates reading books, but that takes a ton of action, right? That goes and tries to conquer their goals, that goes and tries to do something new every day, that goes and says, I'm gonna be a better person today, right? Because to me, the person that's reading books, but at the end of the day, I'll take a perfect example. Like at my company, right? I think people that are like, oh, I read this and that book. I'm like, okay, that's great. But do you even know who the janitor's name is? So insignificant, you're probably thinking, like, what does the janitor's name have to do with me reading a book? It has everything to do with it, because in all those personal development books that we're reading and all these books that we read, right, it talks about, expanding your network. It talks about going out there and doing things that you usually don't do. It talks about being unusual, being so separate from the crowd, right? At the end of the day, you want to be different, right? And how many times have you walked past the janitor or the security guy and never stopped and just say, hi, my name is this, what's your name? Right? Because they are almost like non-essentials in our lives, right? We just walk past them and we don't even care and we don't even see them there, right? But just to think, like, hey, this person, just because he works security, just because he's a janitor, like, he has a name. He's actually a person. What about taking time out of your day and going saying hi to them, right? I would rather want people like that on my team, in my inner circle, because that means they are actually caring about people. That means they're actually improving themselves, right? They are completely different than other people. Right. We have a lady at my job that I completely love her to death, right? So she stocks like all the food, all the candy, and all that at our job, right? Because my job gives us like all this food and stuff, right? So it's amazing. But a lot of people, they talk about all these books they're reading, but do they even know her name? Right? Do they ever had a conversation with her? Have they ever checked on her? Right? And I've had conversations with her. I checked on her and I've been like, hey, how you doing? My first day there, I've talked to everybody. Why? I'm not the CEO of the company. I'm not the best salesperson in my company at all. But it's the little things like that is what makes you a better person. It's what is what separates you from all of society. Right? Now, I understand some people may say, that's outside of my comfort zone. I don't do things like that. But let me tell you something, man. Right? If you want to get where you've never gone before, there's things that you have to do that you've never done before. Right? So that may mean going and meet somebody new. That may mean getting out of your comfort zone. That may mean asking a man, be like, hey, look, can you hold me accountable? Can you join my inner circle? Bertrand, that sounds weird. Yeah, it sounds weird to ask another man to hold you accountable and say, hey, look, this is what I want to live like. Can you hold me to the standard? And I'm going to hold you to the standard as well. Right? That sounds weird, but at the end of the day, you're not going to get better in life if you're not looking to improve, if you're not making an effort to improve, if you're not putting forth the effort to say, hey, I want to change. This is where I want to change. And I'm going to get off my soapbox with that. And we're going to move on to number 9 is build an inner circle, right? So I think I beat this dead horse, but I'm going to say it again. So your inner circle is 3 to 5 people that really hold you accountable, that really say, hey, look, you should be living like this, right? I want to live like this with these standards and with these values, and I want you to hold me accountable, right? And I want you to pick action takers in this group. Don't just pick people that are great dreamers, that people that don't take action, people that last year they said they're gonna lose 5 pounds and it's 2019 and this has been a goal for 6 or 7 years. You want people that have been taking action on it for 5 to 7 years, right? People that have been constantly saying, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, right? That's the people you want to be around. And number 10, men, to have an extraordinary year of 2019 as a single man, the one thing you need to do is be a 1% man. A 1% man. What is that? Right? 99% of society, 99% of men are following society's views, society's standards, society's values of what it means to be a man. I want you to define what it means to be a man for yourself. And then I want you to walk that path as a man. I want you to join our group on Facebook as well, because we're going to be able to hold you accountable to all the things that you believe you should be doing, right? And I'm going to show you how society has painted pictures of men as just a provider that should bring home money, that should go out and just have sex with all these women, right? And that should like seat mediocre men, right? We're just 1% man values himself, values his community, right? Values his tribe. He understands that he is a leader in his community, and he has to uphold that. He understands that he has to be self-motivated because people are looking towards him, right? So those are my top 10 things. And I want to give you guys some more, right? I want to give you guys some more nuggets and kind of go a little deeper if you don't mind, right? I know you don't mind, right? So number 11, guard your eyes, your ears, and your thoughts, right? Nowadays, men, we are visual creatures, right? So our eyes, what we're looking at, right? Especially pornography, right? But especially sexual content. We want to guard our eyes from that because that distorts our worldview. That distorts our thoughts. That distorts what we're listening to as well, right? So we had a great what was it? It wasn't a TEDx talk, but it was a lady from our company. She was talking, and she was talking about a media diet, right? What are you consuming on a daily basis? What are you watching? What are you reading? And she said, readers are leaders, which I agree on that. But I also do say, like, I would rather you step out of your comfort zone and do things, and I'd rather you read one book, right, every month and implement than to read 52 books and never implement on any books, right? But with that being said, what you're watching, make sure that it is tasteful, that it is good, that it is wholesome for your body. And whatever you're listening to, make sure that it is producing upward mobility on you, right? Not dragging you down, not cursing every other word, right? Limit that type of content, right? Increase content that's going to help you, that's going to bring you up, that's going to uplift you, right? And then your thoughts as well, because what you look at and what you're hearing, that gets embedded into your mind, and that shapes your worldview, that shapes your thoughts, that shapes the way you think about everything. So if you don't have the best mindset and all that right now, start listening to more motivational speeches. Start listening to more people that are motivational, right? Like Dr. Miles Monroe. Start reading books that allow you to start thinking in a better light, right? Cut down on the music and cut up on the books, cut up on the speeches, cut up on people, turn up the volume on people that are doing amazing things and learn from them, right? And then number 12, invest in learning, whether that's through audiobooks or regular hard books, or whether that's even through a networking group, right? I learned this from Travis Chappelle, right? He told me, like, hey, like, your network is your network, right? And he has one of the top 25 podcasts on iTunes. Because why? Because he built that network, right? He invested the time, right? And reading, and not just reading the book, but actually battle testing everything that he's done and going out there and actually doing it. So guys, be willing to invest in your learning, right? Be a lifelong learner at all times, right? 13, say no to your ego and pride. As men, we have a huge ego, right? Either we want to be right, and we have a lot of pride as well, right? Because we don't want to be wrong. Right, we're men. We're supposed to stand on our feet by ourselves. We're supposed to do all these things. We're supposed to be strong and not be weak and all these other things, right? But it's okay to put your ego aside and say you don't know. It's okay to take a hit to your pride, right? And learn how to take it to the chin. It's okay. You're gonna survive, right? Don't let your ego run your life. That's the biggest thing I really want you to take away from that, right? 14, I want you prepare your legacy and generation for your death, right? I know in America, especially men, we hate to talk about death, right? It's one of those topics, it's one of those taboo topics, but you're going to be hearing me talk about it a lot. As a man, you want to, that now that you're in your family and now that you've come to understand what it means to be a man, you need to understand that you have to leave your family better than you found it. Right? If you had $0 to start growing up, but you know what you need to do? You need to leave your family like 5,000, 500, right? Maybe just at least $2, or maybe just a house, right? So that way your family doesn't start from zero, right? If you started from zero and then you leave your family zero behind, you have failed the next generation as a man. You have failed your legacy and your generation. Um, 15, have fun and smile, right? I understand we talk about a lot of great topics and we talk a lot of hard-hitting topics, but we need to also have fun. We need to also be able to smile. We also being able to learn, right? We don't always have to be serious all the time, right? Guys, when I came out of boot camp, I was serious all the time. I was not having fun, right? I needed to learn how to relax. I needed to learn how to just, hey, you know what? Get my hair down a little bit around the right people. Let my hair down, just relax a little bit, have some fun, wholesome fun as well. And I just smiled and I just enjoyed myself, right? There's some things that I don't really like to do. Like my company had a Christmas party. I'm not really big on going to parties, right? But I went anyway, right? And I let my hair down a little bit. I had some fun, didn't drink, but I just, stayed for a little bit. And after that, I left, right? But I did push myself out my comfort zone, right? And even now, some days, guys, I come home and I swear the best thing I do, I get on the phone with my friends and I just smile and I have fun. I used to come home, lock myself in my room, write books, write content, all these different things. But now I'm learning on the weekends, I take my sister out on a date, right? And then we just go out, we have some fun and we just relax, right? Number 16, invest your time. Stop just chilling. So, limited time. So I want you to understand. I know it's kind of funny that I just say, hey, have some fun sometimes and relax. Because life isn't always it. Your life isn't always promised tomorrow. But what I want to say with that too is 16. Invest your time wisely, right? If you're really maximizing your time, right? So Monday through Friday, I have a schedule and I stick to it. But on the weekends, I really like to relax. I really like to sleep in a little bit and have some fun, right? Instead of waking up at 5, I wake up at 6 a little bit. But the thing is that because I'm working hard, I am playing hard, right? And because I'm investing my time wisely, right? And I'm stop just chilling, right? White space in your calendar is the devil, right? I'm just going to let you know now. White space in your calendar is just the devil, right? Sometimes it's good if you've been working hard for a long time to just, hey, take some time to yourself. But chilling all the time isn't going to produce a result, isn't going to help your legacy or your generation, right? So I hope you understand that. And if you need more, let me know. If you need more input about that, hey, drop me a line in the comments. Let me know. Number 16, I said invest in Storm and Air's auto trader. So guys, Storm and Air are amazing forex traders. So they have this pretty dope thing. I know a lot of people are into investing and stocks and all that, but you put the money in, you pay them monthly, they trade your money for you, right? You have 6-figure traders, people that have built the company that are legit, that can invest your money for you. I don't get paid any money to tell you. They don't pay me anything for me to tell you this. I'm telling you to go do it because I believe this is going to be very helpful for you and for, investing as well. Look into it. Reach out to them. Tell them I sent you, right? I don't get any money from it at all. You don't have to tell them I sent you. Just look up their auto trader. I think it's an amazing product. I use it myself. I do have an affiliate link. If you want the affiliate link, you can have it. But I think it's very great for just investing money. Instead of just having it sit in the bank right there, hey, I invest my money. You know what I'm saying? It's really nice. Number 18, love yourself. Yes, men, single men, I know it's me as a single man. I used to seek validation from women through sex and just through compliments to tell me that I was handsome, that I was sexy. Every morning we look in the mirror, tell yourself that you're handsome and that you're sexy. Right? Tell yourself these things, right? So that way you don't look for it through validation seeking activities, whether that's through sex or whether that's through pornography, whatever that may be, right? Don't do that to yourself, right? Don't let somebody else control your belief of how good you look or how you feel about yourself. Always be the first one to tell yourself how good you look. Always be the first one to know that you look good. Always be the first one to speak all those positive things on yourself. Have a relationship with yourself. Take some time and take yourself out, right? Get to know yourself, right? Number 19, create a family values book. So this is amazing is I started keeping track of things that I wanted to tell my kids, right? So say I may have had an episode where someone was late and then I said, this is why I love being on time. So what I did, I just started opening up a notes and I just said, you know what? Always be 15 minutes early to appointments. And then I had another situation where we were at a restaurant and some of the members that I was at the restaurant with, they didn't tip 20%, right? Regardless, I want my kids to know, always tip over 20%, right? Always leave $20 or more. That's just my thing. I always leave, no matter what the bill is, I leave $20. If it's over $50, then again I leave like 100 or whatever. But that's just the way I do it, right? You don't do it my way. But I started creating this book because I believe that, my generation that doesn't get to see me, they may want to say, okay, what was Grandpa Bertrand like, right? They could read this book and they could find out all this information for me, right? Because I'm not going to be there to be able to teach them things, right? So by me leaving this book, they're going to be there to open it up and actually learn from me, right? And then number 20, subscribe to us on iTunes, leave a review, and let this help others get to hear this message as well. So you heard it. Last but not least, subscribe to us on iTunes so that way more people can get this message as well. I hope this has been a blessing to you guys, and I hope this is like the top 20 things you must do as a single man to have an extraordinary year in 2019. Okay. So leave me a comment, leave me a shout out below. If you have any questions, let me know. But all right, love you guys. Later. Hey, my good friend. Thank you for listening. Reviews matter, so please leave us a review so other amazing people just like you can find us and listen to us. Also, remember to join us in our free Facebook group so we can build a real relationship and get to know each other. And you will find other extraordinary men and women on similar journey as you. Do not forget, take action on just one thing you heard today. Get a result from that and grow from your experience from that result. You have power in your choice. Until next time, my good friend, I'll see you later. This is Coach B.